I'm going to introduce my first guest, who's a very interesting person. He's got so many different hats. It's quite interesting to see how, you don't have to make a success in just one area. So let's introduce, without further ado, Mr. Redwan Ahmed. Redwan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. I hope you haven't travelled too far today.
Not too far.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So, Redwan, tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you work as a civil servant for the MOD.
Yeah.
You've written books as well. And on top of that, you consider yourself a creative. What are some of the highlights that you'd like to, to mention to us today?
So, during my civil service career, I started as an entry-level, person. And yeah, that kind of started from working in retail and things like that. So, it was hard, getting into the competitive market, stuff like that.
Of course.
So, yeah. And then, I managed to put myself out there and stuff like that. I tried to find different things to do, skills that I picked up along the way. So, I learned from experience.
Fantastic. And how did you first find, I know I was reading about you and you were talking about some of the struggles that you had, initially finding a career in the civil service. So what were some of the obstacles that you faced?
So one of the obstacles was that I didn't know nothing about the civil service. There weren't a lot of resources around civil service. Private sector is talked about a lot.
Absolutely,
and civil service is not talked about much, to work for the government and things like that. So I came across it through my uncle. My uncle suggested that I work for the civil service. Some of the relatives in the family work in the civil service, and that kind of pursued my interest in civil service. But I had to do a lot of research, and then going into work coaching, things like that, get that support from job centre. That really inspired my motivation for it.
Amazing. And when you were initially looking, I mean, you mentioned family, and family, the Bengali network is always great, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get that advice and that support.
Yeah.
But apart from that, for young people coming into, that world of work, you mentioned that you struggled with finding resources.
Yeah.
You did something about it. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I used my initiative.
Yeah.
I found a gap, not a lot of advice around, how to apply for the civil service, writing applications is so tedious.
It is.
It's a very long-ass application form. You've got to do a lot of online tests. There's not a lot of resources for, those things, so like numerical, verbal. You've got the situation judgment test, things like that. So
it's like a job before you even get the job.
Yeah. So I was conducting career sessions, but that came from mentoring at Queen Mary University.
Brilliant.
For 6 months. So was assisting a first year economics and finance student. And that was during the pandemic, and
Wow.
not a lot of face-to-face interaction as well. So I had to do it through calls and Teams and stuff like that.
I mean, I love that you took what was a problematic situation and you turned it on its head. You found your own solution and you made that work for yourself, and then you've taken that further. So, you describe yourself as a careers coach.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
So having that skills and experience gained from mentoring at Queen Mary University, I thought, why not start something, support, students and graduates that need a career, a change, So, yeah, I was starting to do these little sessions and stuff remotely and stuff like that, and got so much momentum through that, which enabled them to kind of, see that, the transferable skills and experiences that you get from working in retail, or it could be anywhere, working in a restaurant as a waiter or waitress, there's a certain skills that you can pick up, leadership, working together, communicating and influencing. There's a lot that you can take from that into applying for a career in the civil service.
And sometimes it is literally about bouncing those ideas and having someone with fresh eyes look at something you've done and picking out those valuable skills. So I'm sure you've been a real asset to those people that have come to you for help.
Yeah. Yeah, they appreciated the support that I've been providing them. A lot of them have been going through, imposter syndrome, that they feel that, they're not standing out against, you know, a crowd of other candidates. You know, there's like still 2020 pandemic graduates still look for employment and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. So
Absolutely. And for you yourself, I mean, obviously you're helping those people, but I imagine that must be, you know, really rewarding for you.
so rewarding, yeah. So I managed to help a lot of people get into top civil service departments,
brilliant.
such as FCDO, HM Treasury, you got Department for Transport, and yeah, so many others. And yeah, and I'm almost publishing a book
Wow.
around civil service because there's a lack of resources that I
Yes.
see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your passion is clear, you know, it's clear. The fact that you're even writing a book about it is brilliant. You know, you're helping and opening doors for so many more people, which I think is brilliant. But I have to say, that's not your only skill. You know, you're a man of many talents.
Yeah.
So you're also, as you say, a creative. And you've written poetry as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, when I was in secondary school, I was into like English literature a lot.
Fantastic.
You
That's
know,
my background.
you know, annotated poems,
Yes.
and yeah, I received a lot of praise like from my teachers on how I go into depth
Right.
into annotating poems, and yeah, and I was being like way more creative and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So, and it wasn't something that you know I would go into like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I used it as a hobby and stuff like that.
Right.
And yeah, I find it more interesting to like let things out and stuff like that.
Absolutely,
So if
so
you're going
form of
through a
therapy.
hard time, it's a good like you know way to kind of get things in good shape. and
That's
stuff
right.
like
Is there a particular sort of genre or particular subject matter that you write about with your poetry?
that. All sorts. So there was a writers community on Instagram. So on Instagram, I used to post quite a lot of different pieces and stuff. You know, you got happiness, hope, you know, heartbreak. I was being creative, like thinking outside the box. So there were things that I didn't relate to and stuff like that. It was something that I've kind of witnessed around me and stuff like that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, you're clear proof that you don't need to do one thing, that you can really, you know.
You could do so many things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you put the mind to it, you know, obviously everything that you know is good doing is like from Allah and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, you got to put in the grind and stuff like that, and then you'll see it come to fruition and stuff like that. So yeah.
And what would you say to young people? Because I know, obviously, as a careers coach, you know, you give that advice. But what about for someone who perhaps has, you know, gone into university or, you know, they're doing their studies, but they're not sure what they want to do? Because we do have some people who, you know, don't automatically want to become a doctor or a teacher or, you know, they're really confused. What would you say to them?
So I would say do a lot more networking and stuff like that. So nowadays you've got LinkedIn, you know, reach out to, you know, the professionals that are working in the industry and stuff like that. I started doing a lot more networking on LinkedIn, and then I saw a lot of opportunities coming. So I had like hiring managers message me, you know, saying if you'd be available for this opportunity and things like
Wow.
that. They'd put you forward for things.
Right.
But yeah, it's the way you kind of articulate that message and stuff, communicate in a concise way, and you know, show your eagerness and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting, isn't it? Because there's so many platforms now, as you say. It's not just straightforward applications. You've got this whole world of LinkedIn, you know, and other ways of putting yourself out there. As you say, people will contact you, even on LinkedIn, you know, for opportunities they think that you're suitable for. What other platforms could they look at? So you mentioned LinkedIn. Is there anything else that you would say, you know, this is a good way to go about things?
Obviously, you got TikTok, which is another kind of like search engine stuff like that for resources. So that's where I've spent time putting videos out on like social content, you know,
Amazing.
resources, because yeah, there wasn't any around.
So TikTok is clearly not just a shopping channel then. There's other things going on in
There's
there as
other
well.
things,
Interesting.
so like it's becoming more educational and stuff,
Right.
and a lot of the youth are leaning towards TikTok and stuff like that for more the education purpose, you know. So they can find out, you know, opportunities in like different areas. So there's someone like doing marketing and stuff like that, you know, advertising opportunities through videos and stuff like that, making people aware and stuff like that. And you got someone working in banking and stuff like that, you know, giving their insight and stuff, you know, the live videos on TikTok and stuff.
I mean, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you think that, you know, because you're talking a lot about this sort of modern era and so many different platforms that, you know, when we were at school, you know, they certainly weren't, you know, around, or, you know, they weren't the kind of big thing where you would go to look for work. Do you think that schools need to catch up on their sort of careers advice to young people?
Yeah. So I think not just in schools, but in like job centers stuff. I've been like a claimant under the university credit and stuff like that, and I didn't find like the guidance that was given like that powerful. You know, they wanted you know, graduates to be more independent. I get that, but we do need the support and stuff like that. Step up, you know, in the motivation, inspiration, stuff like that.
Right.
You know, help us see the bigger picture. So that's what it is. Like, how do I apply, you know, these transferable skills, experience that I gained from various, you know, job roles into, you know, those top jobs, you know.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that's where I'm tapping into it more through my videos on social media, and also when my book comes out, it draws upon transferable skills and experience. So, you know, my career to date.
I mean, I've heard a lot about AI and the involvement in that as well, with applications, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What's your advice using AI? Because you've got to be a little bit careful, don't you?
Yeah, you've got to be a little bit careful. So with civil service, they will catch you out if you do use AI. You've got to really put it in your own words, like, kind of, you know, but use it to kind of guide you in the way. But I'd say, you know, reach out to career coaches. There's going to be more career coaches along the way. Obviously, there's quite a bit niche and stuff like that at the moment. People don't know like where these career coaches are, but you can reach out to the university careers departments and stuff like that for career advisors.
And you can still use the careers advice. Am I right in saying that once you've left and you've graduated, you've got a certain amount of time where you can still
that
go
will
back?
still stay there, and you know they're willing to support you and stuff. But it's still not enough. There needs to be more, you know, tailored career advice. You know, someone who understands the skills and experience that you got, and then taking that, transforming that into something better. You know, for personal statement writing.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, interviews and things like that.
Clearly, it's really important to have a variety of skills.
Yeah.
And as you said, you know, part of what you do is finding the value of those and those skills and making sure they're transferable and articulating those kind of things. I could see from your fingernails, it looks like Mendy there. So I think congratulations might be in order. So how do you juggle all these different things? You know, just starting out your married life, you've got the career. What would you say is a good way of striking the balance between all these different hats that you wear?
So I'd like look into what's more important to me and stuff like that. Obviously, family comes first, you know, stuff like that. So I've been focused a bit more on family and stuff like that, the connection and stuff like that. You know, weekends and stuff like that. But the career coaching, all these other things that come later and stuff like that. So in the evening, I'd try and find a bit of time to do these things and stuff like that.
Fantastic. So you've got different roles for different areas of your life, and you find some time for you as well. That sounds brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been amazing having you.
Thank you.
And hopefully I can, you know, find out more books and more things about you in the near future, and you join us back again. Thank you very much for today.